Well, welcome to the show. I'm Brendan.
I'm Corey, and this is Our View from the Bench. Welcome back, Benchwarmers. The NBA Finals are finally here. This matchup has plenty of storylines, and we have to discuss them, as well as make our prediction for the upcoming series.
We both know who we want to win, but the real question is, who do we think will win? I'm Brendan, praying to St. Luca.
And I'm Corey, Green Team Hater, and this is Our View from the Bench.
Before we get started, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes.
Also, if you could please do us the favor, if you like what you see or hear, please don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash it for us. Come on. It's free. Free for you, free for us. Helps out the channel a lot more than you probably think.
Heck yeah.
Well, Corey, we have made it to the end. Well, not we as in the Laker fans, but the NBA has made it to the NBA Finals. We do have a team in it that we wish wasn't even in the playoffs, but they are definitely favored to win it all. And then we got a team that we are, kind of rooting for here. So before we get started into the finals, though, let's do a quick recap of the conference finals of each of them. We'll start in the East. Corey, you did well, my friend. I mean, in the East and the West, but the East, man. Tell me what you had last. Well, tell me who you had winning the Eastern Conference Finals and in how many games.
Unfortunately, because I didn't pick with my heart, I picked with my head. I picked the Celtics to win in 6, but unfortunately, they did sweep Indiana, who, again, another team with an injury that the Celtics got to play in the playoffs. Awesome.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton going down damn near the beginning of that series. And he was already kind of hobbled because of the hamstring injury he suffered earlier in the year. So it's kind of just like this meh. But yeah, another hurt team for the Celtics to kind of get through, if you guess you could say. I picked the Celtics as well. Unfortunately, I don't like them. I thought they were going to kind of have the same blueprint as before or sweep. So I picked 5 or sweep. I was kind of torn. I wanted to pick the sweep, but I was trying to give Indiana the benefit of the doubt. I should have just stuck with my gut because the sweep happened. So that was the only one I got right. Unfortunately, I wish I would have got that one wrong. But moving over to the West, what did you pick?
So I had the Mavs in 7. For whatever reason, I just felt like Minnesota was able to take care of Denver and come back after being down 3-2 and win Game 7 on the road, that they would have enough to make this a series. But I just felt like because they're so young overall as a group that they might not have the experience to kind of push past. I felt like they almost celebrated too much beating Denver, where it was like that was kind of their championship, like getting to the conference finals instead of taking the next step. And ultimately, I was right in the person or the team who won, but I did not see it going in 5, let alone the Mavericks completely dismantling them in Minnesota for Game 5.
Yes, they did. I was wrong completely. I had Minnesota in 7. I knew it was going to be a long series. I knew Dallas was good, but I thought beating the defending champs was the push and the reassurance that Minnesota needed to kind of get over the entire hump. To your point, though, what I think really happened is that was their championship series, and a good one at that. If you're going to have to beat anybody to get to a championship, you're going to have to go through the champs. Yeah. In most cases. So them being able to take care of them was, applauding, but just like my opinion in that Denver made the Lakers their championship, Minnesota, I think, made Denver their championship. And so Dallas is here. I did pick Minnesota in 7. Dallas took it in 5, bro. That game yesterday, dude, it wasn't even close. I mean, Luka outscored the Mavs in the first quarter by himself. Kyrie and Luka had beat them, I think, at least through halftime, if not farther. Just those two plays, it was nuts, bro. Bad game by Minnesota and insane game by Luka and Kyrie closing it out.
Yeah, kind of felt similar to that Game 7 when Dallas beat Phoenix and Phoenix.
Yeah, it felt almost exactly like that. Yes.
Yeah, and it felt the same way. Like you said, Luka came out and had 20 in the first quarter. Was hitting I think it was the first quarter. He hit that logo 3. I mean, he literally just barely stepped over half court and just buried it. And it was just.
I mean, he's hitting that, bro. What are you gonna do?
There's nothing you can do. And the crazy part is like we've talked a lot about this when we're doing like just hanging out talking about matchups and stuff. Like he's like, oh well, the Celtics are gonna slow him down. It's like Jaden McDaniels, who is one of, if not the best one-on-one
perimeter
on the perimeter for sure, couldn't slow Luka down. And it wasn't like they didn't try. I mean, and then when you double Luka and make him give up the ball, then Kyrie's doing what he's doing. It's a two-headed monster that, I mean, is similar to the Celtics in a sense with Jaylen Brown and Tatum. But Luka and Kyrie, man, it's a
little extra.
they're just vibing, man. I'm excited about the series. Well, kind of
Yeah.
half excited.
Right. Yeah. I'm excited to hopefully have them win. I
Yeah.
did see something. We're about to kind of get into the finals now. Last comment for me at least. I did see something. Somebody posted it online, and people love keeping receipts on everybody.
Of course.
There was actually a video that was posted. It was like a screenshot, basically. Apparently, Anthony Edwards was talking mad shit
Oh.
to the Suns after they got their ass beat at home in the playoffs.
Oh, I did see.
And then what happened a couple of years later? Oh shoot, you got your ass handed to you at home too in the playoffs by it was a little bit of karma for Ant, even though he was obviously like freaking 20 years old back then, 19. He's only 22 now, but that was kind of a little bit of a karma for you, man. Maybe you should just pump the brakes before you start talking so much shit.
Normally, I'd say don't talk shit until the game's over and you won, but he wasn't in the league at that time, so I can't really.
Oh, he wasn't even in the league at that time yet? Oh, wow, that's crazy.
I mean, it was either his rookie year or before he got drafted. I don't know exactly the timeline, but either way, it was when Minnesota wasn't good if he was there his first year because
sure.
Third year now. I believe.
Well, it came back to bite him in the freaking ass. So careful how much shit you talk. If you might have to play Luka yourself, dude. Shoot.
Don't talk shit till you're on the top of the mountain. Then you can talk
exactly.
All you want.
Pretty much. So those are the conference finals, obviously now. So we have our NBA Finals matchup set. The 5th seeded Western Conference representative Mavericks are taking on the number 1 overall seed in the NBA, the Boston Celtics, who I believe won their conference by like 12 or 15 games, and I think they beat the best team in the West by I think 10 games plus 2. So the odds are insane. Right now on FanDuel, the odds to win for the Celtic, I mean, they already, it's funny because before the Game 5 yesterday was over, FanDuel already had odds for the Game 1. Obviously, it was Mavs Celtics. But right now, the Celtics are favored by 6.5 points. And for the series, Boston's at a minus 225. So you have to bet $225 to win $100.
What's the Mavs underdog?
Plus 188. So $100 bet wins you $188. So they're not extreme underdogs, but Boston is pretty big favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, I mean, rightfully so. They had the best record in the league all year. So
yeah, and they've won 4 straight games against the Mavs, including both games this year, and one of the games was after the trade deadline as well. Now, I'm not saying that team early March is the same team that's here, but technically the roster, it's not like they played them trade and they have a bunch of different players. So they did technically play them, and they beat them both times. So it's gonna suck, but let's break it down. Let's get into this a little bit. Please kind of start us off a little bit with what you see going into this matchup.
Well, you mentioned Game 1 it starts next Thursday, so we have best of 7, obviously like normal. Game 1 is Thursday. We have a whole week in between series for the Mavericks, and I think 10 or 12 days for the Celtics since they swept. The one thing I think is a bonus for the Mavs in the sense is Luka's been like playing every game, but every game he's like, oh, I'm tired, I'm beat up, and he's got like blood on his like knee sleeve or whatever. So I think the week off for the Mavericks is probably beneficial more than it is for the Celtics because they didn't have much of a
they've been resting off playoffs.
Much of a challenge at this point. So I think for the Mavericks off the top right there that this is a good thing having some rest. And I don't know, man. This Maverick team has got me feeling like the 2011 Mavericks when they were going against the Heatles first year.
Yeah, the first year Heatles, yeah.
Predominant favorites, like, Dirk's too old. There's just a bunch of role players. They only have one
JJ Barea is a key component, right?
Low-key, Jason Kidd was on that team as a player and coaching the Mavericks. So that I feel like he's going to probably use that a little bit in his pregame talk and getting them pumped up for the series. I think it's going to be a great matchup, to be honest. Luka and Kyrie, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. If Kristaps Porzingis plays, maybe then who's going to guard him out on the post? Does PJ Washington stay on him, or do they use Lively and Gafford as like a pushing out at the end because obviously Kristaps going to stay at the 3-point line? Yeah. Or does Maxi Kleber kind of get him a little bit now that he's back in the rotation, or at least healthy and from the separated shoulder thing? There's a lot of things to do there, and I think Jason Kidd has been doing such a good job of like pushing buttons at the right time as far as like substitutions and rotations. And honestly, it's the best coaching job he's done in his career to this point. And I think I mentioned this last week or maybe before we did the conference finals that I feel like Kidd's 1 year in LA as an assistant when the Lakers won the title was like a huge beneficial thing for him to learn that defense comes first. Cause like this is the best defense the Mavs have played as a team all year, and Kyrie, especially at the top as a guard.
Yeah, and he is, as a player, not that he couldn't play defense. No one ever thought he was a slouch, right? But he is, right, one of the best passing guards of all time. I mean, I'd put him at least top 10. I don't want to sit here and think about who does what, right? But I mean, Jason Kidd is an absolute Hall of Fame player. So the fact that he is focusing on the defensive side of the ball really, kind of like you said, shows the importance that he learned from Frank Vogel, putting defense first,
Mm.
especially with this team. If you have Luka freaking Doncic on your team, offense just turns on because he's on the team. You don't need to really even worry about it, to be honest with you. And if he's having an off night, you just give the ball to the other freaking guy, Kyrie, who's killing it too. So that's maybe why I think he's kind of like letting that part go. Like, these guys are so damn good at offense. Who the hell cares? Let me just focus on making sure this defense is set. Who knows how far we can go?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where they're at, and I like it. I'm obviously rooting for him. So
Yeah, and obviously too, like if you double Luca, then Luca gets the ball to Kyrie. If you double Kyrie, he gets the ball to Luka. But if you double or you kind of take the top off of the like the 3-point line for those guys, and Luca or Kyrie somehow get in the paint, all you gotta do is throw it up to Lively or Gafford, or I mean,
or the
even
floater themselves.
yeah, or that too. But I'm just thinking like Lob City. It seems like Derek Jones Jr.'s had a couple nice ones. I mean, they have just some really nice talent, like PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. I think we've talked about this multiple times. The best trade deadline pickups in the entire league.
This
No,
year, 100%.
yeah, no question about it. They have been perfect fits in this rotation and on this team. They've done exactly what they were asked to do with no question. Gafford, I mean, I didn't even know who Gafford was because he was playing in Washington, obviously, and now he's here.
Nobody knows who
Playing
plays in Washington. Yeah,
right now he's playing a huge role offensively, defensively, cleaning the glass. His energy, Lively's energy as a rookie, especially, has been humongous for this team. I don't know, man. This team just is making me feel that 2011 Mavericks team. And for some reason, I just can't get away from. And okay, this might be my Celtic hate too. Obviously, there's part of that, but I'm just looking at it and getting this feeling of like, I don't think Luka's gonna lose the series. Like, I feel like he's determined. I feel like Kyrie going back against Boston. This is a huge ordeal. Obviously, the way he left there. There's that video of him as a net where he scuffs or whatever the Celtic logo, the lucky Irish guy. I don't know what the
yeah,
hell.
yeah, yeah. Who the hell cares what his name
Yeah.
is?
And then also, I don't know if you've seen this either, but there's a picture or still shot of that when he's doing it. And on the scores table, you know how like if it's an ESPN game, they're doing ads for other games that are coming up on the channel. There's
a
picture
Dallas game.
Mavericks versus somebody else. There's a Maverick logo on the screen. So it all just kind of lines up where if Kyrie's going to prove to the world that he's not, whatever people think he is based on his past, this is the time that him and Luka both are going to go out and prove it. And I just, for some reason, I feel like Mavericks in 6, like they're going to win at home in 6 games. I just can't get the way I look at it is they're going to win. And if anybody's a fan of the movie Major League, which is one of my favorite, if not favorite movies of all time, I'm going to say it just like Jake Taylor, the catcher, says in that. They're going to win the whole fucking thing.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
Win the whole fucking thing.
Fingers fucking crossed, my friend. Let me bring you back down to earth real quick.
Okay.
The Celtics won almost 70 freaking games this year. Again, they finished light years above everybody. They're well rested. They're extremely talented. And you can't even really use the fact that they had an easy road to the finals against them in this way. You can, but you can't in this way. A lot of times people use the road to the finals as the experience they need. Well, this team has just went to the finals 2 years ago. We're in the conference finals the year before that. Jason Tatum has never not made the conference finals. This entire team is already experienced in this sense, and even on the biggest stage. Now, granted, they haven't got over the top, and they did lose to Stephen Curry, who's one of the most legendary players our game has ever seen. But I'm just saying they got that experience. So this is kind of what I feel.
Also, before you go on, they did add Drew Holiday, who has already won a title with Milwaukee. So.
Very true, and he is he's the guy that's got the ball in his hand at all times, and the one who's going to be probably one of the main defenders on Kyrie and or Luka. So, but this team just feels like it's been like boiling over for like a couple years now, and it's just time to break through. I literally hate saying this, right? But I think the easy road to the final gives them all the energy that they need, and the experience from previous years will just kind of be looped into that. They're talented, they're deep. They're mostly healthy. Obviously, Kristaps is this like, is he not? But there was talks that he might play in the Indiana series until they saw they didn't need shit from him.
Yeah, obviously.
So that might be a big thing. So they're mostly healthy and all that kind. The only thing that I will give the Mavs on, and it's not the biggest edge, is I do think that they have the best player or best player combo. I think Luka is better than Jason, and I think Kyrie is better than Jalen. I would put them in that order though. I would put Luka, Jason, Kyrie, Jalen. So the combo is 1-3 compared to 2-4, and the number one overall is better in my opinion. But that's pretty much it, and maybe a better coach. I think Jason Kidd is a little bit better coach.
Agreed there.
But he's been here, not yes, Jason, but I forgot to Joe Mazzulla has also just been to the finals as well. Like again, he's been around here too. So I unfortunately think it's just that time. But I'm gonna go fucking Celtics in 5. So I don't know. It is what it is. It sucks.
Yeah, not a fan of your pick there, sir.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, if we want to kind of do you have anything else? Because I have something I just want to kind of say.
I think just the only thing is I feel like Luka is the Dirk Nowitzki of this squad.
I hope
all goes through him. Everybody else is just doing their job, playing their roles perfectly. I mean, even Dante Exum has had a decent playoff run, and everybody.
Dude, I forgot Dante Exum was even on this damn team.
He could be one of those guys that in game 3 or 4 in Dallas has a big night. I mean, there's a couple games throughout the season he's had a big game here and there randomly. What if
waiting for that Lonnie Walker game kind of thing?
I was gonna say that could be a Dante Exum game in there somewhere. I don't know. It's just something about this team. I understand your whole thought process behind Boston and why you're picking them, and it makes sense.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Also, I think if I remember correctly, I saw that the last team to beat 3 50-win teams in the conference playoffs before they got to the finals was the Lakers in 2010, who then ultimately won the title. And that's what the Mavericks did. They beat the Clippers. They beat who did they beat in the second round? Why can't I not remember right now? Thunder, who was the number 1 seed overall. And then they beat Minnesota. And they haven't had home court in any series at this point either. So they're used to being the road dogs.
And Celtics aren't great at home, honestly, which is odd.
And if Dallas can sneak one out in the first 2, go home and win a couple and go up 3-1 and put the threat on them, I think they can get this series. But
I'm hoping for everything that you're saying. I'm hoping for it. I did, but I just don't know. I don't know. I have a feeling this is I've been hedging my bets against the Celtics for years now, and it's been too long. I don't know if they're going to be the Bills of the '90s and just happen to go to 4 straight and not win shit.
You said exactly what I'm hoping. The Bills of the '90s. Let's go.
down, honestly. So, but yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Corey says Mavs in 6. I'm saying Celtics in 5. Before we move on to the other segment, though, I have just one more thing to say, Corey. And you know what? I don't even know if I want to say it. I have a friend. His name's Owen, right? Cool kid. I want to go ahead and let Owen kind of wrap this up for us here. Owen?
Thank you, Owen.
Owen, thank you.
Love you, Owen.
Thank you, Owen. I'm taking her on this.
And also, fuck Boston.
That's right, Owen. Tell him. Fuck Boston, dude. Fuck Boston. Go Mavs, but Celtics in 5.
That's one of my favorite clips of all time.
Oh, dude, I love it. And everybody out there was like, ah.
Screaming and yelling. It's like being in a locker room or a clubhouse, man. Just going nuts. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. All right. Well, before we wrap up this episode, we wanted to kind of take another minute to acknowledge that today, May 31st, is the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month. So we want to hit you guys with another Corey's Mental Health Minute. Corey, take it away for me.
Yeah, so this is obviously kind of a somber way to end this episode, but I think it's something that needs to be talked about. We try to do Corey's Mental Health Minute every couple episodes. We decided to leave this one for the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month, as you mentioned. Last weekend on Saturday, I believe, Grayson Murray, who played on the PGA Tour, committed suicide. He was a decorated amateur, played in Junior World Championships, first PGA Tour tournament as a rookie when he was in July of 2017. And in his past, he's talked about he's struggled with anxiety, depression, eventually went and had alcohol abuse issues and went into treatment and was able to clean himself up and get sober for the last probably 8 to 10 months. He called out of the last day on Friday of the tournament because he said he had an illness. And unfortunately, Saturday morning, the golf world found out that he had passed away. Initially, there was no reports of how or why, but his parents actually were the ones to come out with the report or a statement mentioning and saying that he had committed suicide. The broadcast on CBS just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of the situation. The golfers, obviously, during that tournament, the rest of the weekend, were completely distraught. There's a couple videos. If you Google them, you can find some golfers talking about how, you know, it's weird being in the locker room of the clubhouse. We just saw him. He was just here. It just doesn't make any sense. But a lot of the players, since he was a huge Carolina Hurricanes fan, a lot of the players wore black and red pins to like in remembrance of him the rest of the weekend of the tournament. So again, we're always talking about mental health situations and issues. You need to talk to somebody or have something you need to work out. Please find someone to talk to, or a phone number or a website that you can get help through. But this is just one of those moments where you don't want to see somebody, especially so young. I think he was only like 30 or 31
30,
years
yeah.
old. So to be struggling with the way he was and to be so open about it, and then unfortunately still to succumb to what he was going through with his battles was just something I feel like we had to mention, especially during Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah, definitely. Rest in peace, man. It's tough. There's a lot of negative things in the world these days, and the internet makes it all right in front of us. So, it's just kind of take some time. Make sure that you got somebody to talk to. If you don't, there's plenty of resources out there. I myself personally just kind of started going again. I've got 2 sessions. Just got the little things I got to work out. Again, it's not even something that you have to do permanently. It's not like once you sign up, you have to do it forever. Sometimes you just got to go to kind of help figure out some couple things here or there. I got this big problem. How can I improve this, or how can I work on that, or how can I get over this? And it's all right. It's all right. It's all right to do so. So, if you or someone is struggling with these kind of things, or is thinking about hurting yourselves, don't, man. You're important. You're loved by if not anybody, by us. All right. So
Yeah.
just make sure we'll have some stuff on the screen here. There's some phone numbers and stuff that you can kind of reach out to. But yeah, man. Just get some help. Even if it's a friend, or if not, if you can, hit us up in the messages. Let us know. Yeah, we'll be your friend. Shoot.
Absolutely. And like you said, if you or someone is thinking about hurting themselves or anything with that effect, please reach out. There's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which if you're watching on YouTube is on the screen. The phone number is 1-800-273-TALK. And if not, you can check out their website, which is suicidepreventionlifeline.org.
Yeah. So again, rest in peace, Grayson. You'll be missed, man. So, well, we're going to wrap it up here. Let us know down in the comments. Let's switch back to basketball. Try to get a little positive here before we wrap it up. Let us know in the comments who you've got winning the finals and why you've got it. We'd like to hear exactly whose side you're on. Are you kind of rolling with Corey here, or you think the inevitable is going to happen? I guess Corey thinks the inevitable is going to happen. So I guess we'll see. Let us know down in the comments who you've got. Other than that, we appreciate everybody for stopping by. Thank you, as always, for seeing things from our view from the bench. I'm Brendan.
And I'm Corey. Like we always say, enjoy the sports until we talk again.
Peace.
This was a Sycamore Fourth Studios production. If you or someone you know is thinking about hurting themselves, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK or visit their website at suicidepreventionlifeline.org.